if there's anything wrong.
Okay.
All right.
It's saying I'm live. Okay, thanks, Stephen.
How come I don't see you?
It says I'm live. I don't know if anyone's out there and can hear me. If you are, if you could print in the chat that you can hear me, that would be great.
Jeff looks different today. That's funny.
Thanks, Josh. Can you hear me? Hey, Debbie. Once again, I'm going to ask, I can't tell if you can hear me or not. All right, there you. Thanks, Ruth. Yeah, this is my first time pastor on the front porch, so I'll have to see, do I go with glasses or not glasses?
Can you see?
I can't see the chat without my glasses. That's funny. Okay, loud and clear. Excellent. This makes me think of Phil's message because this is really playing to an audience of one. As you have everyone checking in and the comments on the side. And it's also what I'm finding is it's not like Zoom at all. It's more like probably doing radio.
Hi, Stephen. Can you hear me?
I did say hi, Tanya. Yeah, Tanya, you say hi. You got to come in the screen and say hi.
Radio and video. They can't hear me from here?
Oh, radio with video is what she's saying. It's like doing radio, but they also get to see me.
Oh, okay.
Which is good. All right. And we're getting people coming on. I know I'm a little bit... now it is about time. So hopefully everyone can be getting on.
Thanks, Ruth.
Okay, can you come and say hi? Can you come on camera? Everyone say hi. Tanya's right here helping me.
Hey, everybody.
And so we're on my front porch. So pastor on the porch / patio, I guess, which is a good thing. As Jeff has been doing this, part of the patio is pastor on the patio has been kind of been used for informational purposes about the church and stuff like that. But one of the things about the patio probably that I miss the most is not necessarily giving information about the church, but finding out personal information and how everyone is doing. So first of all, maybe I'll just start with a little bit of just share how we're doing a little bit. And for those of you who didn't know this, we were up in Minnesota last week, and it has been 8 days since our daughter got married. And it's just been an interesting time, especially when you look at the planning we were doing. And probably a month ago, we had gone up to visit. It was at a venue. It was at an outdoor venue. So it was an old farm, probably, I don't know, I'm guessing 8 acres or something, it was a bigger place. But anyways, a month ago, we went up there, and the laws in Minnesota were saying that you could have 10 people. And as a matter of fact, my daughter a friend of hers was getting married, and they got married in just a very, very large church with just 10 people. And they might have even broke the law by sneaking in the back. They crashed a wedding, not a wedding reception, but the wedding itself. And but anyways, that was a month ago that we were being told we could have 10 people, which is, the wedding party was bigger than 10 people. And so we went up there, and slowly they began to change it. And it was trying to figure out how many people could come and then who could even come. Because originally we had about 220 people said they were going to come. And so a number of things changed. And we also were able to communicate with those families to say, you know what, the guidelines and everything like that, we're not going to be able to offer face masks and things like that, but we would, if you don't feel comfortable coming, we understand, but we're still going to go forward. And last week we had about 160 people come to the wedding, and it was just a beautiful day in Minnesota. It was sunny and 70 degrees with a breeze. And so our daughter got married, and it was just, for those who have gone through that, man, I don't know if I was ready for it. We were laughing because the day of the rehearsal, I was not ready because I walked Caitlin down the aisle, but then I also performed the ceremony. And for the rehearsal, I started into a prayer, and I think I got 5 words in, and I just started crying. And I just, the whole rest of the rehearsal, I was kind of crying. It was just kind of emotional. The good news is the day of the service, by then I think I had gotten it all out. But anyways, it was just a really fun day. It was great to see a lot of people. I think a lot of people were excited just to get out and come to some place where they could see family and loved ones. So anyways, that's a little personal Pastor on the Patio. Is thank you for all your prayers. I know a number of you were praying for us, for the family. And yeah, we made it, had the wedding and made it back, and everything's good. So thank you for that. A second thing then that I kind of wanted to do is, this is what I've been noticing is we have been really, Phil mentioned it today in the message, is we're looking at July 12th as the day that we would like to restart services. And so just a little bit of a background and kind of the thought process, I think, would be helpful for you to understand. And one of them is first of all, this is, I don't know if you knew this or not, but one of the largest, well, I think it is the largest church in the Valley, CCV, was going to start with their services yesterday. And I had seen a video on their website as late as Wednesday saying, yeah, it's going to be this Saturday. Well, they made a decision somewhere in the middle of there between Wednesday and Thursday to not have services this weekend. And now, instead of, they advertised for Father's Day, now they're advertising for July 11th and 12th. And they're saying, you know what, we're going to wait another month just because of the spike in the state right now. So that as we look at that and we start talking about times, we are going to see how things go at least until July 1st. And at July 1st, we're going to reevaluate again to see where we're at with that, because there's just so many things that we don't know. But July 12th is what we're shooting for. Now, that having been said, one of the things that we've been doing as a leadership is we try to get as much information as we can. And so we are talking to people we know and trust in the health field. We are using the CDC guidelines. We're looking at those. We're listening to our elected officials as well. So that's what we're doing. And so it's also something that we're doing is listening to our people. And so what we found is even in our church, there are so many different points of view on whether we should start and when and things like that. And we have everything from people who have said, we're upset that we stopped having in-person services in the first place. And then others who have suggested that maybe we should be looking at after kids get back to school. So maybe into August before we have services. So as you think about those things, first of all, I just asked for your prayers. Those are so appreciated for the leadership of our church, for me, for Pastor Jeff, Chris, all Crosswalk Kids, Noel and Andrea and Stephen and Phil, all of us, along with our board and the individuals who are giving us information. We definitely need your prayers. And as we go forward, one of the things that we're trying to do is be sensitive, be smart, make decisions that are plain to an audience of one, that as we look at, and it's so hard to say, what would God have us do? Because there's not a verse in particular that's going to tell us when to restart. But one of the things that I would like to do today is this. And that is, I have my Bible right in front of me. And this happens to be the reading for our, if you're in the Crosswalk reading plan, we've gone through Philippians. And so the couple things that I want you to be thinking about is not necessarily what you would like to see happen, but rather to take a step back from that and read Philippians a little more through the lens of what we're going through. And so I'm going to read a couple verses right now and point you out to a few, but I'm going to encourage you to go back to the book of Philippians. And so this is what it says. It says, I thank my God every time I remember you, in all my prayers for all of you. I always pray with joy because of your partnership in the gospel, working together, sharing the gospel from the first day until now, being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. And so that's what he talks about. But then a little bit later in verse 12, he says, now I want you to know, brothers and sisters, what has happened to me has really served to advance the gospel. If you remember, I think the reason why Philippians is a good one to look at is because Paul was in jail. And right now, I think a lot of us feel like we are in jail, that we can't go where we want to go. We can't be where we want to be. We can't do the things that we want to do. And in the midst of this, to be able to say, you know what, I can feel like I'm in jail right now, but that doesn't mean that work is not getting done. And so right now, as I look at the work that is being done at Crosswalk, I think of specifically the number of people we have been able to reach through the live stream, and the fact that that can be shared in so many different ways. So even though we feel like we're in jail, it's serving to advance the gospel in some ways. So that's one part of it. A little bit later, it goes on to that. Another verse that I love in chapter 1 is verse 27. And that is, whatever happens, conduct yourselves in a manner worthy of the gospel of Christ. And I love those verses because right now what I'm finding is, I think many people are getting to the end of their rope and they don't like what's going on. They're frustrated. And in the midst of that is especially, I'm just talking about myself and maybe you too, but when I get locked up with my own thoughts as well. And I just keep going and chewing on them again and again and again. And sometimes the words that come out of my mouth aren't necessarily gracious. And that what they are words of frustration. They are actions of frustration. And so I like this. Whatever happens, conduct yourself in a manner worthy of the gospel of Christ. A little bit later it says, for it has been granted to you on behalf of Christ, not only to believe in him, but also to suffer for him. And that was also something that Phil mentioned in the message. But right now there is some suffering that is going on. And my encouragement is don't waste it. Don't waste the suffering that we have in Christ. And then again, I'll stop and I'll look at questions in a minute, but this is turning into a sermon. But then in chapter 2, when it says, if you have any encouragement from being united with Christ, if any comfort from his love, if any fellowship with the Spirit, if any tenderness and compassion, then make my joy complete by being like-minded, having the same love, being one in spirit and purpose. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others better than yourselves. And that in the midst of this is my encouragement for today is we can't let this divide us. We have a unity in Christ. And so whatever we do moving forward, we need to do it together. There are reasons people have valid concerns on both sides, and we're going to believe what we believe makes sanctified Christian common sense and to do what is best. I'll stop there because I have been doing a lot of talking, but are there any questions necessarily? Maybe a question I saw one, are we scared? And I think that's a legitimate question because that in the midst of it, that you that when you look at, first of all, I would say no. I'm not necessarily afraid. And I would say as an example of that, where again you can see maybe an inconsistency in this. I was just at a wedding that had 160 people at it in Minnesota, and it was a one-time deal, and it was outside, and that's a little bit different than starting a church service. I think what it is we're not scared. We're trying to serve our people, all of them, as well as we can. That we are trying to do what is best for the group. And so what I would say about this is where I might turn another place in the Bible is 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 8 says, knowledge puffs up, but love builds up. And usually when we have a very strong opinion, it's because we think we know more. And so in the middle of that, maybe you do even. And so in the middle of that is where we gently instruct. And then the other part is 1 Corinthians 13, where we talk about making sure we do it all with love. So that is what we're trying to do. So that is, again, the encouragement I would have is as you look at it to do that. So if you would like to give input and your point of view, we will definitely take that, and we will definitely weigh your opinion. And so if you want to send anything to us with a point of view that you think might be helpful, you can send that to prayer@cwlk.church, and that will help you to do that. And that we will definitely take that. Okay, so I'm going to stop there just for a moment. And just the reminder, I'm going to stop there and go maybe back to get a little more practical, and that is July 12th. And so as we look at July 12th, if you are listening here and you are wondering about a restart, what we are noticing is that in order to restart, what we need are volunteers. So as we look at people who are encouraged, who are eager to get back, one of the things that we definitely need is we are going to need people to serve. That's just a reality. And so the service is going to look a little bit different because it would be at Arizona Lutheran Academy, which means they have a little different parking lot. So we think we will need some parking help. We will also need some sanitizing help. That for the services, we need to be cognizant of that. And there needs to be a sanitation. Again, I don't know if I call it sanitation, or I don't like that word necessarily, but we need to make sure that we are making sure that it is an environment that is a safe one. I'll put it that way. So as you look at that, if you are someone who is eager to get going, one of the things that I would encourage you to do is to see how exactly you can help. So that'd be good. I'm trying to think what other teams that there are going to be, but I just met with Tim Caldwell, is the person who is the team leader for the ops team. And so for that ops team, we met yesterday and talked about getting the setup people, getting the team to make sure everything is sanitary, what we'll need for the services. And the other part of this that is just as important is we have received input from a number of people who have said, you know what, we're in a risk category and we're not going to be coming back anytime soon just because we feel like we can't. So the concern is that the online service remain a positive and something that is very good, and that we keep the quality that we have right now. So that is also playing into all of the things that we do. Anything? What do we got?
They're wondering if there will be crosswalk kids when church restarts.
One of the decisions that we have made for right now is that crosswalk kids will not open until kids are back in school. So until they are used to going into an environment where the school sets up certain guidelines, and the kids are kind of understand what is expected of them, that we are going to hold off on having the kids ministry. So the date we would say right now that for kids that I would say the earliest we would start would be August. I believe that's August 9th. August 9th would be, and again, so much of that is determining not just on Crosswalk saying we want to do this, but also on our volunteers saying we feel safe coming back in, and we feel as the Crosswalk kids that we can provide a safe environment for them as well. So all of those are going into that decision. Okay, I see another one there for Bob, from Bob Freiberger, saying he's got some ideas. We'll be in touch, Bob, for sure. Interested in what you have to say, and we'll definitely use your knowledge of the ALA campus and everything like that. I think would be very helpful. Yeah, there's going to be some that this goes back. I've been here now. We've been here 7.5 years. So a lot of this is going back before, for those of you who were there when it was back at the ALA campus, this is going back to something you've done before, but I'm thinking it's probably been about 9 years. If anyone knows, how long has it been since we left ALA? I don't even know. All right. The other, I'm trying to see what Phil wrote. What did Phil say?
Which patio they like better?
Which
Ours
patio?
or
Yeah, you can vote on the patio. So just so you know, Phil, that as that you have that vote, it's really not a vote of me. It's as much as Tanya did a great job of getting the patio ready for me. So I thank her for that. Good stuff. All right. So I'm looking up here if there are, again, as we have any questions. You're making Tanya laugh.
I agree. We should get misters.
We didn't miss. I don't know what the temperature is, but it is getting warm. I love it. And the reality is Jeff does have, you know what? Next time I think I might do it. I'm on our front porch. That next time I can do it on the back porch and get the pool and the palm trees in the view as well. So try to up our game for next time. One thing I do want to mention as we have time here is two things going on. One of them is, Phil, do you know if we are filled up for the St. Mary's Food Bank or if there are still spaces available? If you could share that in the chat. And the other thing is that the drive we are doing also for the both for Midtown and for Levine for helping the schools. Okay, so yes, this is the blood drive was filled. This is just showing that people's desire to serve and get going. We might do another one. Stay tuned. So this is great. And Phil, just thank you for the job you've been doing. That people really have responded well to the blood drives and to the food bank for sure, and looking for opportunities. The school drive is still on, and it really needs supplies and people to make masks. So as we look at that one, I think this is the one that probably has taken a little bit of a hit as opposed to the past, because in the past we were able to have on the patio a tent with examples of those things. Pictures of them. It was a reminder for people to see it each week. And now with it being online, sometimes that's being lost a little bit. And the encouragement would be to go to the webpage, www.cwlk.church, click on that news section and go to see exactly how you can help in that area. They are taking supplies. They are taking offerings as gifts as well. And that is something where I know it's really helped with making a difference with kids, especially the kids in our community that have the greatest needs. And it also is a way that we partner with the schools and let them know that we really do care about them. So good stuff. So what is the last thing I know Phil said?
They're extending the date of the clothing drive, the school drive.
Awesome. We're extending the date, and how long is that going? Is it
Sometime
through July?
into July.
Into July. So even though it's being extended into July, don't let that keep you from looking at it today, and making a little decision there and seeing where we can help out our community. So definitely want to do that. All right. Once again, that as we look at that covers kind of that news part of it. We continue to, like I say, making decisions that what our staff is doing this week. On Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, our staff is going to be meeting for about probably 6 hours each day in the morning at Arizona Lutheran Academy and into the early afternoon. And one of the things that we are doing is our annual planning. And this annual planning is something that we all look forward to. Normally, we leave town, that we would go, we've gone every place from like around Payson or Flagstaff or something like that. And we get out of the valley for a while, and we just take time to spend in prayer. We take time to evaluate what has happened over the last year. And then we look into the next year and say, okay, how are we accomplishing our vision, mission, and values? And especially as we look at it this week, one of the things you realize is the plans we have are called a vision traction organizer. And on those, each area of ministry has some plans and things we would like to see happen. And what we've noticed in the fourth quarter is how quickly our plans can change, and that we talk about this being fast, fluid, and flexible. But just so you know that one of the things I'm going to be talking about with the staff and the challenge that I'm going to give them, that no matter what area of ministry we have, is the word that is really going to be emphasized in the next year. I can tell you this already, is connection. That when you think of, first of all, Pastor Chris coming as the connection pastor, my heart really goes out to him. If you want someone who's been kind of dealt a tough hand as a connections pastor to be here for about 3 months and then to not have in-person services for the next 2 to 3 months, he's such a people person anyways, and he just loves being around people, that it's hard for him for that reason. But also it's hard because with the connection, it's really hard. We really have had difficulty planning and getting anything together. So that as we look at this next year, I don't care if it is with our outreach or youth ministry or Crosswalk Kids or groups or whatever it is, that one of the things that we are going to encourage you to do, is to stay connected. Or if you don't feel like you are connected, that you are getting connected. And the beauty especially of the connection that we are going to have in groups is that it gives you a freedom to have some of this connection in person, and some of it that, if you're not ready for it, can still be online through virtual groups. And that is something yesterday I did meet, like I said, with Tim Caldwell, who's in charge of our operations. And one of the things that for both of us that we just realized is it is really powerful to see people in person. It just really is. And it's such a different dynamic than even this, which is great. I mean, we can do it, but having a person there and being able to read, like right now, I can't look you in the eye. I can't see your facial expressions and really see how you're doing. That is something that no matter what happens, we need to realize that we need to really make that a priority, that people are being connected with other Christians through different ways that is best for them, and just offer a number of different environments for that, and really kind of make sure we give that the attention that it deserves. So my encouragement right now would be that connection can happen in so many ways, but maybe even it can be a phone call. It can be an opportunity to get together with 1 or 2 people. We've talked about worship parties, which we've seen as well. So all kinds of different ways to do that, and that will be a priority in our next year. Excuse me. All right. I think that is, we are getting about close to time. If there are no other questions out there, I will also wish you a happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. So that, dear, thank you very much. Did I miss that at the beginning? Okay. And yeah, we're just going to wish you all have a great day. And we look forward to seeing and being in contact with you, whether it's through, again, if you have any thoughts or ideas about the reopen, at prayer@cwlk.church is a way that it will get to our entire staff. And we are really looking forward. We would like this to go as quickly as possible, but we are also weighing all the things that go into it. And we thank you for your prayers. All right. Happy Father's Day, everyone, and have a great day.